Good evening, friends. This is Kiran Racha from My Educational Services. I welcome you all on behalf of Credila Edge. I am here to give you a presentation for every student's dream destination, that is United States of America. I hope many students, every student's dream would be that they want to study in US. I hope you all will agree with me, right? So I'm here to put some inputs about US, what is the scenario today, and what is the scope if you go for higher studies in US. I just start with the saying that education is not just filling the pail, but it is lightning of the fire. You know, the desire to have knowledge, quality knowledge, quality education, the best of the best quality education, I would say. I mean, anybody would agree with me towards US, right? Because of the standards, because of the quality education, because of the facilities, what may not. So that's how I would like to start. Let's look at the global scenario. This is for the last year survey done. If you see, 76% of the international students plan to study in US. You have a couple of, 10% which goes for various other countries like Australia, Canada, UK, Germany, and so on. But you see the major chunk, major, category of students would prefer going to US for higher education. Yeah, as I told you, dream destination, US would be the first preference for any international student because they have outstanding higher education systems. As I told you, you have quality education. The style of education is different. You have around programs which are more than 3,600 universities, colleges for graduate, undergraduate programs, with over 900 plus fields of studies, courses. It's a huge place. Usually students learn a lot under the direction of world-renowned faculty, who range from Nobel laureates to the prize winners. They get directions under the best of the best faculty, and it's a practical experience. That is the reason why there is a craze for US. You get good percentage, you get good score, you write your GRE, you write your IELTS. All of you should agree with me that yes, first thought in your mind will be yes, this is US, nothing else. No compromise, isn't it? So that's how it is. It's a mindset of every student because they know by default US has the best universities. They are the world-class leaders in technology, in scientific techniques, and they are committed in providing the same resources to the students. If they can develop students according to the standards of US, I know the students would definitely work there, and it would develop their country as well, or their continent as well. So end of the day, quality, what they give is what they get back. Today, as 30% of international students in the world are studying in US. The global scenario, what we had discussed earlier, it's like you have 30% of international students who would like to study in US. There are a couple of recent changes in education systems. I thought I'll just highlight 3 points. If you know, Barack Obama has raised the maximum Pell Grant award for the next academic year and campaigned to persuade Congress to keep interest rates down on federal loans. He just wants to curb the cost of tuition by using federal money to reward colleges that keeps tuition fees affordable. There are like a couple of more options on campus jobs like graduate assistant, teaching assistant, research assistants, where you get to learn a lot from your professors and which gives a lot of weightage to your resume. When you put on your resume that you were a graduate assistant in the college, chance of getting a good job in US are high, rather than looking at outsourcing jobs, odd jobs for temporary sustainability. Did you know there is a possibility to study in US without GRE? If you know, well, but if you don't know, I think this is surprising, because generally you ask about US, everybody knows that you have to write your IELTS, TOEFL or GRE. But today, let me tell you, there are few universities who are taking students even without GRE. Earlier, it was only 16-year degree that was valid to go for graduate programs. But today, some of the universities take even 15 years of graduation from India. There are hundreds of students who are getting admissions from AP without writing GRE in few universities. You can seek admissions in approximately 48 undergraduate graduate programs like computer science, business management, physiotherapy, etc., which are there in a couple of these programs. I'm not highlighting a couple of universities, but just let me tell you one or two, not more. I'm just giving you examples of universities like Concordia, Owen-Cousin, etc. Like such universities are taking students without GRE. See, education system in India is recognized. They know Indians are smart. And getting admitted in US is not tough. At the same time, getting visa is a challenge always. Even you write GRE, visa chances are 60-40 ratio. Here, the chances maybe would be 60-40, 60 or 50-50. But you can still give it a try. Now let's look at what are the career options. Why going to US for education? I'm sure you know all this. I mean, it's just adding up, the points to enlighten some people who don't know, some students who doesn't know. The basic thing is it gives you enhance the value for your education, and of course you get higher employment opportunities. See, compared to graduation and masters in India, look at the opportunities what you get here. Studying masters and getting employment opportunities in US. I can tell you one example, like, see, probably say you finish your graduation, you finish your masters in India, your package would be starting off maybe from 4 to 5 lakhs. I'm telling the higher side. How long will you take to get into a 10 to 15 lakh package? Honestly, it will not take less than, it will take nothing less than 7 to 8 years, or at times even 10 years, right? But if you do masters in US, and you get one thing which is not available in India is you have a part-time job options. You can work in campus under your professors, which can again enhance your educational skills and get good percentage and get good credits. You can carry good credits along with you and get through your masters. Again, after which you will have options of getting jobs. Say worst to worst, even if you get a job of around say $40,000 to $50,000 per annum, you can calculate yourself what will be your first salary after 2 years. Everybody makes such calculations. Everybody in life have to make some calculations and then think about their practical future. So that is the difference. Of course, you get good standard of living. You get you get good experience in the classroom settings. You get a lot of opportunity to break your academic record. It helps you learn by yourself, because there are a lot of practicals which the way of the style of teaching is totally different. and which will give you a lot of exposure globally. And once you're on par with the global significance, getting opportunity, getting good job anywhere there are high chances for you to get. It helps you to learn about yourself, and you can expand your view worldwide rather than looking to one particular country. So once you're studying abroad, say study in US, it helps you to connect people around the globe. Because you do your masters in US, you have a lot of, that itself is a weightage. Your masters in US itself is a weightage where you get high chances of getting placed globally. You can choose the place. Now, coming to our support to you. As I told, we are into overseas education. I again welcome you. It's our privilege to have you thinking about us as the right choice to realize your aspirations for an overseas education. You will be given the complete admission guidance on the admission process, which includes scholarship guidance as well, provided the student's credentials are good and you come in time, because the scholarships are all on first come first serve basis. If we can get you a scholarship, nothing like it. I think that would be the best option. Which student would not want to have scholarship? Tell me, come on. So guiding you in identifying different courses in demand, taking global scenario in consideration. We will guide you as per your education, what are your suitable courses, the demand right in the current trend, what is the global scenario. We try to update you which is the best option for you. As I told you, I deal with almost all countries. Okay, so we can give you a better suggestion on your career. We can also assure you of the genuine program information, as our professional trained counselors strongly depend on the authentic information portals of government and educational institution websites. So you will be given genuine information which is updated on the website. So we make sure that a candid counseling is given to the student and guardians, and we explain the all possible outcome of it, plus and minus. We don't just show a rosy picture telling everything is possible and blah blah blah. We tell you the possibilities, we tell you the challenges also around, so that you are ready to face them. And as I told, my ambition is to be a one-stop solution for an overseas education. Now looking at the documents, the checklist, these are the various documents required for submission to the university after getting your I-20. Academic documents, of course, then you have your GRE, IELTS test scores, work experience certificates, if you have any other relevant certificates like LORs, letter of recommendations, and so on. If you're looking at financial documentation, of course, then your passport, which should be at least 6 months valid, your photographs, your I-20 admission letter, your savings receipt, HDFC visa application fee receipt, DS-160, which is confirmation of the barcode, and BFS interview appointment letter as well. Once you are done with your visa, I think it's a time for you to book a ticket to US. At the same time, everybody could not probably go with a complete funding by themselves. That is where Credila plays a vital role, and they have been very aggressive in giving education loans to the students. There are a couple of universities in US which are rated. They are having their global ranking, and depending on the ranking, they give you a loan even without security options. Some universities, if you produce your I-20 of top ranking universities, getting education loan through Credila is very, very easy. I can assure you that. And so here comes a little glimpse about US. I have not taken a lot of time in giving you a presentation because many of you who are planning for US would definitely have all this information. The main reason why I'm here is to clear certain doubts that you must have got so that we can have an interactive session and I can enlighten you with certain information what I know. This is something nice to hear. I have asked a question like, are you planning for graduate programs in US? So I've got 100% students saying that they want to go for higher studies for US. That's a good sign. And Mr. Gaurav is asking me, what is the interest rate of loan? See, in the end of the seminar, what I will do is, I will give you my mail ID. You could probably send this query to me. I will give you the rate of interest. That is once, all things are done, getting I-20, then we think about the education loan. So I will definitely update you, Gaurav. I've just sent a poll of like, how many of you are interested in education loan for higher studies? I have got 80% yes and 20% no. Probably 20% are having enough funds. That's what I assume. But 80% yes, we are here to help you out. We can definitely help you in getting you an education loan. Next thing is like, yeah, I've just sent third question, whether this webinar was helpful. It's my privilege, I can tell. 100% of them have told it is yes. Any questions if you would want to ask me, you can probably ask so that I am here to give you suggestions and maybe I could satisfy a couple of your queries. Because I just wanted to make this more interactive session because see, giving PPT on US, like everybody knows what US is all about. But this is an opportunity for me to help you to clarify certain doubts. So please do ask me questions. I'm here to answer them. Neha, as she's asking me, according to many rankings, top business schools for MSc in finance, is Europe, should US still be an option for me? See, Europe, UK and US are on par with business schools. The entry is different because if you look at US, your GMAT score is very important for US. But when it comes to Europe, UK, you don't need to have a GMAT score. Mr. Shrikant is having a couple of queries. Is there any chance of pursuing master's degree in US? Very much, Shrikant. You are doing with your BTech degree. Of course, nanotechnology, yes. Nanotechnology in business management. They are two different nanotechnology is different, business management is different. So if you're looking for technical side, I think you should go in masters into your nanotechnology. If not, you're looking for business management, then go for management courses. Management courses, you have it in finance, marketing, international trade, regarding business management? Yeah, you could always do after BTech. But you need to write your GMAT score. There are very few universities who can give you business management courses without GMAT. Anyways, I will give you my email ID in the last. You could interact and maybe I can personally help you out. I have Gaurav asking again, yeah, interest I've already told. Tiju, my query is, do we need to start paying interest while studying, or do we got provision to pay after completion of education? Okay, I will pass on this query to Credila guys. They will interact with you. There are a couple of options. Either you can pay interest, because what happens is if you don't pay anything, your interest get accrued till 2 years, because your masters will be for 2 years, right? So your interest will get accrued for 2 years, and then you can start repaying after 2 years. So your lump sum your liability will increase. It depends on your finances, of course. You know, if you are not able to, you can accrue them, and maybe once you get a job, you can clear off all that. That option is there. Yeah, it is like SBI. All the bankings have similar rules. Rate of interest 0.5% here and there varies. Otherwise, the norms are all similar. One thing with the government and private sector is private sectors are more aggressive. That's what I can say. Shrikant, a couple of universities ask for 2 years experience. Otherwise, your GMAT score, if you have a real good GMAT score, you can go for business management courses. Gaurav, yeah, after masters in engineering from US, of course you can settle there, Gaurav. See, if you're doing your masters in engineering, you will be getting a visa for 5 years. So 2 years you will be studying along with your job, part-time, whatever, and after that 3 years time you can work. Once you work and maintain a clean record, of course you can settle. You're getting a green card purely depends on your history. You should be well planned and well prepared for it. Any more questions you guys would want to ask? Regarding education, career options in US, you can ask me, I can directly answer you. Anything related to Credila, I can always forward it to them. They will help you out. See, again, minimum GMAT score required, Shrikant, it depends. You know, you would be looking at minimum comes to around, say, 550. I cannot assure you, but purely on the score, there are a couple of universities giving at 600, 700, 550. As I told you, there are a couple of universities giving even without GMAT score. It purely depends. Hi Sarika. Is there any job opportunities in US if I complete my MS over there? Of course, you have a lot of opportunities, Sarika. You can start searching online, because generally students over there, they always keep applying online. You have a couple of consultants who can help you get a job. So you can definitely get a job there, not an issue. You need to qualify your education. Don't deviate from your education. I would suggest you do, on-campus jobs, which will add weightage to your resume, and start looking for internship programs, which will give you a live, experience to your companies. Doing this exercise while studying, I'm sure you'll get a job. Gaurav is asking, can you please explain step-by-step procedure to get admission in Masters in Engineering field? See, basically, Gaurav, what you need to do is, first you need to get your documents, all your documents. You need to collect transcripts from your university, your academics. You need to write your IELTS and GRE. As I said, if you can't write GRE, there are a couple of universities. But preferably, yes, if you can write GRE, whatever score you get, I can try to help you out. And once you do this IELTS, GRE, and you have your, documents ready, you could probably drop into our office. I can give you the list of universities which are suitable to you and apply. get you an I-20. Once you get your I-20, you can start financing or planning for your finances. Look at your, your CA certification for your bank statements. Financial documentation is required. As I told you, the documents procedure in my earlier slide, I think you would have missed it. So after that, you need to pay the service fees. Then once you need to fill up the DS 160, 160, then you need to apply your visa fees and go for a visa. I have Tijo asking, is job opportunity after MS applied physics good? See, GRE for physics, any masters that you're planning for in US, GRE they ask you because it may not be relevant, but when it comes to visa application, when at the time of submitting the visa, if GRE is not there, there might be a high risk of visa rejections. 100% visa rejection is not there, but the chances of getting visa are low. Srikanth is asking what is I-20. I-20 is nothing but admission letter. It's called I-20 in US. Offer letter is where other countries tell. I mean GRE subject test. You mean to ask what all subjects are there in GRE? Can you be a little specific, Tiju? There is only general physics, not GRE physics. You can only give a general GRE. You don't have to give GRE physics. Any more questions that you have? Tiju, did I reply about the job opportunities for applied physics? Good. See, every field has a good opportunity in US. Start from computer science, you talk about IT, you talk about petroleum, you talk about applied physics, you talk about, what else? Any subject for that matter. It might be a different state, but getting job opportunities is how you explore. See, you have got option to go there and study your masters. Now, you need to explore. I mean, Google is one Bible that we have got. You can just Google search in US which state has better options for applied physics. Now, you can apply there. It's all about exploring, Tiju. It's all smart work. You see, going to US is a path. Finding a job should be by yourself, right? There's nothing called guaranteed. You have to apply, you have to face the interview, you have to, convince them that you are the best, and you would definitely justify the, and then, there are chance of you getting a job. Ways of showing funds are like you can show your bank properties, bank balances, you can show your properties, you can show your gold, your gold with you. Everything is certified by a CA. Your funding can be shown by certified by a CA. You will have if it is property, it will be by your engineer who will certify. These are the proofs of funds. This is my mail ID, and you can send me any sort of queries. It would be a privilege for me to answer and give you proper inputs. If you have a chance, I would always request you. You're always welcome to my office, and I can clarify your doubts. Okay, Srikanth, what about the bank balance assets we want to show? Yeah, you can show your bank balance, Srikanth. Assets, that's what I'm saying. They are certified by the CA. Whatever assets, whatever proofs you have, they will be certified by a CA. You can show those, definitely. Sarika wants to know if security aspects that a girl student in US is safe. There are, if I look at the kind of inquiries I'm getting for US, I can say I'm getting 60% students who are girls who want to go to US. The scenario in India, or rather I can say Hyderabad, is changing. If you see, even in AP, the pass percentage of girls are higher than boys. I'm not degrading boys. Please, no hard feelings. But these are the facts. A girl student, I mean, it's always safe, no problem. You can look for in-campus option. You can look for in-campus jobs. And it all depends how careful you are. See, violence is everywhere, Sarika. It depends how careful you are. You mean to say the violence is less in India? There are a lot of problems happening across. The thing is, you need to have guts, you need to have, confidence, and you need to be very careful about yourself. You can live anywhere. Sarika has a doubt again. On what basis universities select to go to US? Like, what is the weightage for GRE? See, GRE, IELTS, your academics have equal weightage. First thing would be your academics. Second would be your GRE score. Third would be your IELTS. On the whole, statement of purpose, which is very important. If you happen to get a low GRE score, and if in your statement of purpose, if you can write a very strong statement of purpose, the reason why you have probably got less marks, what is your ambition, what is it you want to go and do in US, depending on your SOP also, you can get a admit in good university. I have got a couple of admissions with less GRE but a strong SOP. Every university have their own way of assessment. Some way SOP a lot, because SOP is nothing but a skeleton picture about the student. What is it all that he wants to do coming to US? Normally having 3.3 is a decent GPA. Say you have around 70% on an average. You could have a GPA of around 3.4. Now, how it is calculated, it is all the assessment body that does mark. So they convert. There is a conversion, body for that. So they convert our marks into GPA. What is the difference between applying visa under SPP and non-SPP in Canada? See, this is a student program which gives you assured job for an SPP program. Non-SPP is like, and chance of getting the visa for SPP programs are higher than non-SPP programs. What is your percentage, Shrikant, percentage in BTech for doing MBA? Yeah, you can apply for MBA, not an issue. But business schools, let me be very honest, the tuition fees will be high. 66% is what Piju says, but it will go below 3. Then fine, I can get you an admit in a couple of good universities for MBA. You could approach me, not an issue. Of course, Sarika, I will personally help you, don't worry about that. You send me your profile to my mail ID, and if possible, we can also meet up. I am placed in Ashok Nagar near RTC Crossroads in Hyderabad. So if you have a possibility to come down to our office, you're welcome. I can always give you good suggestion. I hope all the questions and queries are done. Thank you guys. It's been nice interacting with you. I take the privilege to thank Credila for giving me an opportunity to interact with you. See, we are here to help you as far as possible. Any more queries, my email ID is always there. You could send your queries and I can always interact with you. I wish you good luck in your career. God bless you. Thank you.